Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Morning Stir and Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide. I am so glad you're here. Let me go ahead and welcome those of you who are joining in as a replay viewer. Make sure you go ahead and give me a hashtag replay so that I can know that you are here. If you're brand new, please let me know that in the comments as well. And make sure you click the subscribe button right now and enable your notifications by clicking on the little bell. Again, I'm so glad you're here. And let me welcome those of you that I call my people, my people, my people. Those of you who are joining me live, number one, go ahead and greet me whatever way you do in your part of the world. Number two, let me know where in the world you're joining in from. Number three, help me by clicking the little thumbs up on the screen. Number four, help me to share this broadcast far and wide. And number five, if you are, join me in our daily declaration. I'm stirred up. I'm stirred up. And if you're like me, I'm stirred all the way up. We're getting ready to dive in for a time of praying in the Spirit for just a few moments. I will share anything that the Lord lays upon my heart for today. And then I'm going to quickly dive into the reading of the word. And we're picking up at 2 Samuel chapter 20 today. But for now, let's begin to pray in the Holy Ghost. Rakatamandi elebakote kelebata, rekete mande ki ikarakata, rokotamandi elebakote kelebata, randi elebakore kedebataya, rakatamandi elebakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikerekete, rokotamandi elebakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, yelebakote kelebata, rokotamandi ikarakata, rokotamandi ikarakataya, reketiandi elebakote kelebata, rokotamandi ikarakata, yete makara, randi ikorekete, mata mande ki ikarakata, rokotamandi ilabakote kelebata, rakatamendi arabakote ke, rokotamande ki alabakote, rokotamandi alabakote ke, rakati alabakote kelebata, rakatamandi alabakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, rokotamandi alabakote kelebata, yete matama, rokotamandi alabakote kelebata, yete mandi ikarakata, rokoti alabakore kerebata, rokotamandi ikerekete, rokoti alabakote kerebata, rakatamande ki ikete, rokoti alabakote kerebata, rakati alabakote kerebata, mandi ikarakata, okoshete mandi ikarakata, o rekerede ande, rokati andi alabakote kerebata, rakatamandi alabakote kerebata, yete mandi ikarakata, rokati alabakote kelebata, yete mandi ikarakata, rakati alabakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, rokotamande ki ikerekete, randi ikarakata, matamandi ikorekete, rokotamandi alabakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, rakati alabakote kelebata, yete mandi ikarakata, rokotamandi alabakote kelebata, rekete yalabakore kerebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, okoshete mandi ikarakata, mandi ikerekete, rokotamandi yelebakote ke, rakatamandi yelebakote kelebata, rakati yelebakote kelebata, rakatamandi ikarakata, rokotamandi ikarakata, rekete yelebakote kelebata, matamandi ikarekete, rokotamandi yelebakote ke, rakatamandi yelebakote kelebata, rakati yelebakote kelebata, rande ki ikerekete, rokotamandi ikarakata, mande ki yelebakote kelebata, matamandi ikarakata, okorekete, randi ikarakataya, rokoti yelebakote ke, rakata yelebakote kelebata, randi ikarakata, okoshete mande, rekete yelebakote kelebata, rakati yala rabakore kedebata, mandi ikarakata, yete mandi ikarakata, yele bakote kedebata, randi ikarakata, roko tamandi ikarakata, roko tiele bakote kedebata, Rakata yalabakote ke. Rokotamandi ikerekete. Rakata yalabakote kelebata. Rande ki ikerekete. Mandi ikarakata. Yelebakote kelebata. Rakata yalabakote kelebata. Yatamandi ikarakata. Roko tamandi ikarakata, rekete yalabakote kelebata, mandi ikarakata, yelebakote kelebata, randi ikarakataya, rakata yalabakote kelebata, yete mandi ikarakata, roko tamandi yalabakote kelebata, rakata yalabakote kelebata, rande ki ikerekete, roko tamandi ikarakata, roko tamandi ikarakata, roko tiele bakote ke randi ikarakata mandi ikarakataya roko tiele bakote ke mandi ikarakata yete mandi ikarakata roko tiele bakote kelebata randi ikarakataya roko tiele bakote kelebata yete mandi ikarakataya roko tiele bakote ke roko tamandi ikarakataya o korekete arabata mandi ikarakata rekete yalabakote kelebata rakatamandi ikarakata randi yalabakore kerebataya handi akarakatamandi ikerekete rokotamandi ikarakataya. Glory to your name, God. Glory to your name, God. Glory to your name, Jesus. Glory to your name, Jesus. Glory to your name. Proverbs chapter 4, 24, verse 16 says, for a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. A just man falls 7 times and rises up again. And I was in a conversation with a sister of mine. She's actually a part of my next level discipleship. And when we were at our retreat, she was telling her story. And in part of her story, she was saying something to the effect of saying to God, God, can I start over? And something about that statement just hit my belly. And I couldn't gloss over it and I couldn't forget it. And it came up in my spirit again today. God, can I start over? I will tell you that in the midst of the most amazing things that has been happening in my world and in my household, I just there was along with it, there's that mixture like oil and water. There's like that mixture of warfare that comes in the middle of great things happening. And I almost to the point where it's like kind of took the wind out of me a little bit or tried to. And I was thinking, I was sharing, I was making like fun. I was like, man, I really didn't get as much as I wanted to get done today. But Monday is a fresh start for me, but every day is actually a fresh start. But it's one of those times where I feel like, God, can I start over? And the answer, when you ask him, is absolutely yes. Because a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. Now, I don't consider myself to have fallen, but I can say I've fallen short on some things I felt like I needed to do or could have gotten done or whatever. But, I just kind of need a do-over. God, can I start over? And I just feel like some others are on the other side of this screen who feels the same way. And I encourage you to write that in the comments. God, can I start over? And I'm telling you, his answer is going to be yes, because according to my word, I said a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. For a good man may fall 7 times and get back up again and again and again. God is with you. And yes, and yes, and yes, you can indeed start over. Is that good news or is that good news? Hallelujah. Let's go ahead and dive into the reading of the word. That I'm telling you, I'm blessed by that myself. But let's go ahead and get into the reading of the word. 2 Samuel chapter 20 is where we're starting out today. We'll get as far as we can go, and we'll finish up 2 Samuel on Monday. 2 Samuel chapter 20, the Message version, and it reads, "Just then a good for nothing named Sheba, son of Bichri, the Benjaminite, blew a blast on the ram's horn trumpet, calling out, 'We've got nothing to do with David. There's no future for us with the son of Jesse. Let's get out of here. Israel, head for your tents.' So all the men of Israel deserted David and followed Sheba, son of Bichri. But the men of Judah stayed committed, sticking with their king all the way to the Jordan to Jerusalem. When David arrived home in Jerusalem, the king took the 10 concubines he had left to watch the palace and placed them in seclusion under guard. He provided for their needs, but didn't visit them. They were virtual prisoners until they died, widows as long as they lived. The king ordered Amasa, muster the men of Judah for me in 3 days, then report in. Amasa went to carry out his orders, but he was late reporting back. So David told Abishai, Sheba, son of Bichri, is going to hurt us even worse than Absalom did. Take your master's servants and hunt him down before he gets holed up in some fortress city where we can't get to him. So under Abishai's command, all the best men, Joab's men, and the Kerethites and Pelethites left Jerusalem to hunt down Sheba, son of Bichri. They were near the boulder at Gibeon when Amasa came their way. Joab was wearing a tunic with a sheathed sword strapped on his waist, but the sword slipped out and fell to the ground. Joab greeted Amasa, "How are you, brother?" and took Amasa's beard in his right hand as if to kiss him. Amasa didn't notice the sword in Joab's other hand. Joab stuck him in the belly and his guts spilled to the ground. A second blow wasn't needed. He was dead. Then Joab and his brother Abishai continued to chase Sheba, son of Bichri. One of Joab's soldiers took up his post over the body and called out, "Everyone who sides with Joab and supports David, follow Joab." Amasa was lying in a pool of blood in the middle of the road. The man realized that the whole army was going to stop and take a look, so he pulled Amasa's corpse off the road into the field and threw a blanket over him so it wouldn't collect spectators. As soon as he'd gotten him off the road, the traffic flowed normally. Following Joab in the chase after Sheba, son of Bichri, Sheba passed through all the tribes of Israel as far as Abel Beth Maachah. All the Bichrites clustered and followed him into the city. Joab's army arrived and laid siege to Sheba in Abel Beth Maachah. They built a siege ramp up against the city's fortification. The plan was to knock down the wall, but a shrewd woman called out from the city, "Listen, everybody, please tell Joab to come close so I can talk to him." When he had come, the woman said, "Are you Joab?" He said, "I am." Then she said, "Listen to what I have to say." He said, "I'm listening." There's an old saying in these parts: if it's answers you want, come to Abel and get it straight. We're a peaceful people here and reliable, and here you are trying to tear down one of Israel's mother cities. Why would you want to mess with God's legacy like that? Joab protested, "Believe me, you've got me all wrong. I'm not here to hurt anyone or destroy anything, not on your life." But a man from the hill country of Ephraim, Sheba, son of Bichri by name, revolted against King David. "Hand him over, him only, and we'll get out of here." The woman told Joab, "Sounds good. His head will be tossed to you from the wall." The woman presented her strategy to the whole city, and they did it. They cut off the head of Sheba, son of Bichri, and tossed it down to Joab. He then blew a blast on the ram's horn trumpet, and the soldiers all went home. Joab returned to the king in Jerusalem. Joab was again commander of the whole army of Israel. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was over the Kerethites and Pelethites. Adoniram over the work crews. Jehoshaphat, son of Ahilud, was clerk. Sheva was historian. Zadok and Abiathar were priests. Ira, the Jerite, was David's chaplain. Chapter 21. There was a famine in David's time. It went on year after year after year, 3 years. David went and to God seeking reason. God said, "This is because there is blood on Saul's and his house from the time he massacred the Gibeonites." So the king called the Gibeonites together for consultation. The Gibeonites were not part of Israel. They were what was left of the Amorites and protected by a treaty with Israel. But Saul, a fanatic for the honor of Israel and Judah, tried to kill them off. David addressed the Gibeonites, "What can I do for you? How can I compensate you so that you will bless God's legacy of land and people?" The Gibeonites replied, "We don't want any money from Saul and his family, and it's not up to us to put anyone in Israel to death." But David persisted. "What are you saying I should do for you?" Then they told the king, "The man who tried to get rid of us, who schemed to wipe us off the map of Israel, well, let 7 of his sons be handed over to us to be executed, hanged before God at Gibeah of Saul, the holy mountain." And David agreed, "I'll hand them over to you." The king spared Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the promise David and Jonathan had spoken before God. But the king selected Armoni and Mephibosheth, the 2 sons that Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, had borne to Saul, plus the 5 sons that Saul's daughter Merab had borne to Adriel, son of Barzillai, the Meholathite. He turned them over to the Gibeonites, who hanged them on the mountain before God. All 7 died together. Harvest was just getting underway, the beginning of the barley harvest, when they were executed. Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, took rough burlap and spread it out for herself on a rock from the beginning of the harvest until the heavy rain started. She kept the birds away from the bodies by day and the wild animals by night. David was told what she had done. This Rizpah, daughter of Aiah, and concubine of Saul. He then went and got the remains of Saul and Jonathan his son from the leaders at Jabesh Gilead, who had rescued them from the town square at Beth Shan, where the Philistines had hung them after striking them down at Gilboa. He gathered up their remains and brought them together with the dead bodies of the 7 who had just been hanged. The bodies were taken back to the land of Benjamin and given a decent burial in the tomb of Kish, Saul's daughter. They did everything the king ordered to be done. That cleared things up. From then on, God responded to Israel's prayer for the land. War broke out again between the Philistines and Israel. David and his men went down to fight. David became exhausted. Ishbosheth, a warrior descended from Rapha with a spear weighing nearly 8 pounds and outfitted in brand new armor, announced that he'd killed David. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to the rescue, struck the Philistine, and killed him. Then David's men swore to him, "No more fighting on the front lines for you. Don't snuff out the lamp of Israel." Later, there was another skirmish with the Philistines at Gob. That time, Sibbecai, the Hushathite, killed Saph, another of the warriors descended from Rapha, and yet another battle with the Philistines at Gob. Elhanan, son of Jair, And the weaver of Bethlehem killed Goliath the Gittite, whose spear was as big as a flagpole. Still, another fight broke out in Gath. There was a giant there with 6 fingers on his hands and 6 toes on his feet, 24 fingers and toes. He was another of those descended from Rapha. He insulted Israel, and Jonathan, son of Shemiah, David's brother, killed him. These 4 were descended from Rapha in Gath, and they all were killed by David and his soldiers. Chapter 22. David prayed to God the words of this song after God saved him from all his enemies and from Saul. God is bedrock under my feet, the castle in which I live, my rescuing night, my God, the high crag, where I run for dear life, hiding behind the boulders, safe in the granite hideout, my mountaintop refuge. He saves me from ruthless men. I sing the God, the praise lofty, and find myself safe and saved. The waves of death crashed over me. Devil waters rushed over me. Hell's ropes cinched me tight. Death traps barred every exit. A hostile world, I called to God. To my God, I cried out. From his palace, he heard me call. My cry brought me right into his presence, a private audience. Earth wobbled and lurched. The very heavens shook the leaves, quaked like aspen leaves because of his rage. His nostrils flared billowing smoke. His mouth spit fire. Tongues of fire darted in and out. He lowered the sky. He stepped down. Under his feet, an abyss opened up. He rode a winged creature. Swift on wind wings. He wrapped himself in a trench coat of black rain, cloud, darkness. But his cloud brightness burst through a grand comet of fireworks. Then God thundered out of heaven. The high God gave a great shout. God shout his arrows pandemonium. He hurled his lightnings a rout. The secret sources of ocean were exposed. The hidden depths of earth lay undercovered. The moment God roared in protest, let loose his hurricane anger. But me he caught, reached all the way from sky to sea. He pulled me out of the ocean of hate, that enemy chaos, the void in which I was drowning. They hit me when I was down, but God stuck by me. He stood me up on a wide open field. I stood there saved, surprised to be loved. God made my life complete when I placed all the pieces before him. When I cleaned up my act, he gave me a fresh start. Indeed, I've kept alert to God's ways. I haven't taken God for granted. Every day I review the ways he works. I try not to miss a trick. I feel put back together, and I'm watching my step. God rewrote the text of my life. When I open the book of my heart to his eyes, you stick by people who stick with me. You're straight with people who are straight with me. Who are straight with you. You're good to good people. You shrewdly work around the bad ones. You take the side of the down and out, but the stuck up, you take down a peg. Suddenly, God, your light floods my path. God drives out the darkness. I smash the bands of marauders. I vault the high fences. What a God. His road stretches straight and smooth. Every God direction is road tested. Everyone who runs toward him makes it. Is there any God like God? Are we not at bedrock? Is not this the God who armed me well, then aimed me in the right direction? Now I run like a deer. I'm king of the mountain. He shows me how to fight. I can bend a bronze bow. You protect me with salvation armor. You touch me and I feel 10 feet tall. You cleared the ground under me so my footing was firm. When I chased my enemies, I caught them. I didn't let go till they were dead men. I nailed them. They were down for good. Then I walked all over them. You armed me well with this for this fight. And you armed me well for this fight. You smashed the upstart. You smashed the upstarts. You made my enemies turn tail, and I wiped out the haters. They cried, Uncle, but Uncle didn't come. They yelled for God and got no for an answer. I ground them to dust. They gusted in the wind. I threw them out like garbage in the gutter. You rescued me from a squabbling people. You made me a leader of nations. People I'd never heard have served me. And the moment they got wind of me, they submitted. They gave up. They came trembling from their hideouts. Live, God, blessing to my rock, my towering salvation, God. This God set things right for me and shut up the people who talk back. He rescued me from enemy anger. You pulled me from the grip of upstarts. You saved me from the bullies. That's why I'm thanking you, God, all over the world. That's why I'm singing songs that rhyme your name. God's King takes the trophy. God's chosen is beloved. I mean, David and all his children always. We're going to stop right there with chapter 22 and have an amazing weekend. I'll see you again on Monday. And again, we're going to finish up the book of Second Samuel and we'll get ready to dive into First Kings. So be blessed. I love you guys and see you in a couple of days. Be blessed.